Yo, what's up? Trevor Noah fans. Today we're reacting to 10 minutes of Trevor Noah stand up. Without further ado, let's go.
Pandemic made people crazy. I thought we were all going to come together. That's what I believed. From all the movies I watched as a kid, I thought if humans were ever threatened with an existential threat, we would abandon every single fight we were having, and we would come together to win.
Wait, I actually didn't know Trevor Noah did stand up after the pandemic. Okay, I thought it was just on the Daily Show thing.
I thought if that virus came, we'd all be there. We'd be like, all right, no more racism, no more sexism. Let's do this together. And we'd go and we'd defeat the enemy aliens, and then we'd come back and be like, all right, let's get back to the racism. It's like an Independence Day. That's what happened, remember? Yeah, that's what I grew up watching. Everyone in the world came together to fight the aliens. We stopped all of our... There was no politics. There was no nothing. We unified and we won. And then in real life, what did we do? We fought each other and we lost. We were supposed to be a team. Will Smith was supposed to be our hero.
Oh, no. Okay, if it's what I think it is, there was a show when there's a comedian, Chris Rock. He insulted his wife, Will Smith's wife, on an award show. So Will Smith went to the stage to slap Chris Rock. So that I think that's the reference. Will Smith was supposed to be our hero, but yeah. Oh, come on, Trevor, you didn't have to do that.
None of it went as planned. As humans, we become so comfortable knowing that we forget how uncertain life is. We get taught every single day that we know. We get comfortable knowing. So you think you'll always know. What's the traffic going to be like? You know. What's the weather going to be like? You know. Oh, it'll rain on Thursday. Understand what a magic trick that is? If you had that technology 500 years ago, you were like, oh, it'll rain on Thursday. People would be like, I remember how confident world leaders were as well. Some more cocky than others. One of my favorites was Prime Minister of the UK, Boris Johnson. Yeah, he was an interesting one. He went to a hospital during the pandemic, and he was hugging people. Like right at the beginning, he was hugging people, going around hugging people. Journalists asked him, they're like, Prime Minister Johnson, do you think it's appropriate for you to be hugging people during the pandemic? He's like, first of all, everyone needs to calm down. This is not a pandemic. This is not a pandemic. Look at my hand. Do I look stressed? Everyone is nothing. Everything is fine. Well, I can touch people. We're not shutting down. Everything's staying open.
You see how he switched his accent to British accent immediately.
It's staying open. The football's staying open. Well, if you excuse me, I have to go. God, who give a shit? Huh? America's president. Oh, he was even caught.
Oh, Donald Trump.
Yeah. You see him when he came out? Donald J. Trump? Oh, he had all the swag. He was like, folks, we're gonna have an end.
Accent again.
In 21 days, the virus will be gone. 21 days. Some are even saying 20. That disease came and kicked Trump and Boris deep in the chest. Both men went to the ICU, almost died. Only reason they survived is because they're both heads of state. They gave them that secret juice.
No, they both had
To his credit,
corona.
he came out of that hospital like he had seen Jesus. He came from the hospital, held the press conference, shut everything down. He came there barely dressed. He was like, everybody, this is not a joke. Please shut it down. Please, the football's gone. The pubs are gone. Do not take this lightly. I've experienced it myself. I promise, this is not fun. I can't talk to you. I have to go. Please, I can't. I have to. And he's just gone. God, that man was terrified. I was half expecting coronavirus to come around the corner like... Trump, on the other hand, didn't give a damn. That man will die from being stubborn. He came out of the hospital, could barely breathe, but still held a press conference. Didn't even speak. It was just like... I can do sound of
Okay, so
happiness.
that
The
was-
sound of white happiness in particular. Yeah. I've tracked it. I've searched for the source of woohoo and I found it originated with white people. White women in particular. That's where it comes from. That is the sound of a white woman's turn up. That is the sound of her getting into the game. It's like, Tammy! Woo! And that's when you know it's on. Because everyone else learned it from white women. That's where it came from. You know, it spread through society like a virus. It's not the natural sound anybody else makes. White women make that sound instinctively, but everyone else has learned it. Like, white men were the first ones to learn it because for them it's sort of like a mating call. They know what it means. They have to reciprocate like, woo! But everyone else had to learn it. It's a natural sound for them, but for nobody else. Like black people woohoo, but it's not the natural sound black people make for fun. You know, black people can woohoo, black people often do woohoo, but it's not instinctively a black sound of happiness. And I think it's because black people are uncomfortable with the woohoo. Deep down inside, there's a certain moment in woohoo when every black person stops enjoying it. There's just a moment when, and maybe this is just my personal experiences, but I feel it sounds eerily similar. It's just a moment. It's just that split second where like,
Whoop, whoop.
hands in the air. Terrorism is not a race, it's an act. And it's evolved over time. Yes, right now we're dealing with extremism, Islamic terror in some parts of the world. But if you go to other parts of the world and ask them what a terrorist is, they'll show you a different face. Go to England. 20 years ago when you said, who was a terrorist? They'd show you a drunk Irishman. Right? I didn't need to say drunk, I could have just said Irishman. There was a time when Nelson Mandela was labeled a terrorist. Like, terrorism is an act, it's not a face. People say these things. Well, these Muslims, you gotta admit, there's an awful lot of them. Awful lot of them doing the same thing. And yeah, but you know who's not a terrorist? Most Muslims. Yeah. Most Muslims are not terrorists.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not even Muslim, but it gets to me because I'm like, most Muslim people are not terrorists. You know how you know this? Because we're still alive. The opportunity to take us out, people. There's 1 billion Muslim people on the planet. They've had every chance. They could have killed us using those falafels they sell us after midnight when we come to They could have wiped us all out. They're killer kebabs. I would have never learned about America. I would have never come out to places like Washington, D.C. Never learned to drive on the other side of the road. I would have never learned about charming racism had I not come to this beautiful country. Probably something that changed my life forever. Charming racism. Classic American charming racism. I never knew there was such a thing growing up. And I thought I knew all about racism. I always, coming from the home of some of the best racism in the world, I don't mean to brag, but South Africa.
Oh, South Africans, they're like racist, all of them.
Handcrafted racism like that anymore. Like, I've seen racism all over the world. To be honest, the standards have dropped. It's not what it used to be. Like, I'm talking about quality racism. Now it's cheap and mass-produced, probably made in China now. I'm talking about real racism. I discovered charming racism in a place called Lexington, Kentucky. I don't know if you've ever been, but you really need to go. It's a beautiful place. Old school, charming racism with a smile and the tip of a hat. Everyone in Lexington had this vibe, the smile, the charm, the drawl. Oh, the southern drawl, I love it so much. They would speak out.
Okay, it's southern, okay.
It's so beautiful. Because the sentences don't really make sense. They're like, y'all ain't never gonna see none of them out. And it's like, that's...
This lady, this girl, is he Georgia? From Ginny and Georgia.
Which
The accent.
girl?
The mom, is there?
Ah, Georgia.
Yeah.
That's
The
not
accent.
English. Your autocorrect is broken. I don't know what that is, but it's...
That's like southern.
In fact, when they speak really fast, sometimes it sounds like someone's playing a banjo inside their mouths. That's what it sounds like to me. I asked 2 men for directions, and they started arguing. It was the most beautiful sound I've ever heard in my life. The guy was like, "Where are you going, boy?" I said, I'm going to the theater. Can you direct me? He said, "Oh, you're going on the Oylorry Road. You know, see how that, right?" Friend was like, no, they ain't no bow, they don't get no sight. Don't pay no day. They only get no day. They go, man, only get no day. It sounded like someone started a Mumford and Sons concert in their mouth. Because 1 minute they were talking and then they got into it and the guy was like, they don't get no white no say like, they don't get no day. They don't get no day.
That was wow.
Oh, Trevor. Anyways, that's 10 minutes of Trevor. Noah, stand up. Yeah, let us know what other content you want us from Trevor. Until next time, guys. Peace.